Alright, hello, this is Nova Slayer 232. This is one of my first versus battles that I'm going to post that's semi-professional until I get all my setup correctly and done. This is how my setup is going to be. Today we are doing the versus battle with Shouto Todoroki versus Gray Fullbuster. One's from Boku no Hero and others from Fairy Tail. I choose these two because they primarily use ice abilities to fight. I'm going to start off with Shouto, or Todoroki as everybody calls him, including myself. Alright, so you should know his basics. He's human. He's 15. Alright. His powers and abilities, he has super strength, speed, durability, endurance, agility. He's pretty good. He has good battle smarts, the ability to use his quirk, half cold, half hot. Half cold, half hot causes Shoto's right side to have the power of ice and his left side the power to use fire. This quirk allows him to raise and lower the temperature and gives him the ability to create ice and fire from nowhere. The weakness of his quirk or his ability is that he needs to maintain his own body's temperature. If he uses one side in excess, like his fire side, he will get burn marks, and if he uses his ice side too much, he will get frostbite. So they swap between each other, so he doesn't cause great harm to himself. So let's say he's using his ice side a lot, he'll use his fire side to ease the frostbite. But if he uses fire side too much, when his burn marks, he'll start using ice to cool him down. All right. We're using Todoroki at the sports festival, the first sports festival, not the one that's currently about to take place in the manga. So, a destructive capability is calculated to multi-city block plus, meaning like multiple city blocks and a little bit more. Uh, this was made by like the giant ice formation that he used with Deku against Deku with the giant glacier. Uh, and when he uses fire, he can melt that too. So they're both his ice and fire are pretty both equal. Is one is not stronger than the other, but he usually most use ice during his fights. Um, his range, like his range of attacks, is around normal melee range, like about your arm length, leg size, to dozens of meters with his quirk. I don't know about this one. I'm a little giving him the benefit of doubt for his speed, like movement speed. Uh, what I'm going off of with this base is I'm going off of a website called Outskirt Battle Dome. You can look it up if you want. It's Outskirt Battle Dome. One word, or if you could split it up in words, you'll still get the same thing. Go to Boku no Hero and you'll find the calculations for this. But they said his speed is hypersonic. Hypersonic is anything above five like Mach 5, but below, I believe Mach 100. Let me go check, make sure. Don't want to sound dumb. Hypersonic, yeah. About Mach 5 to anything less than a Mach 100, yeah. That's for his movement speed. I guess they're talking about when he uses ice and fire to help him move around. So I don't give him that. He he has class 1 lifting power. Um, Let me tell you about the lifting strength. The strength categories for lifting and striking. So a class 1 lifting strength is about uh 454 to 1,000 kilograms, or the size of a dairy cow. So, right, they can lift. You can lift up around that amount of weight. Pretty strong for like a 15-year-old. Uh, and his striking is let me make sure. Class MJ via power scaling to other characters. Meaning, like, if a student is around this, then he should be relative to that character because he is a main character. MJ class MJ is a Mega Jewel class. Attacks that have similar effects similar to high explosives. At high end, we're talking about like outright planet busting, like not planet busting, building busting attacks. There are lower ones. There is class H and class KJ. Class H is human class. They're regular like heavyweight punches. KJ is kilojoule, slightly human right to like he can punch a wall and destroy it. So it's a little higher than wall busting. Megajoule, and I expect that's with his quirk, not just his outright strength. All right. So his stamina is superhuman level because his how he uses his quirk. He spams it a lot when he fights, so it should be around superhuman. Like if you trying to get hard to grasp it, like a Olympian, like Olympic runner, like sprint swimmer, like those type of athletes, superhuman. All right. His equipment is his hero costume. His intelligence, he's a skilled combatant. Um, Shouto has been stated that he is the strongest student in Class 1A, but over the time, we don't know. But we're taking from the sports festival, so he should be the strongest without holding back. Since I'm using we using the sports festival. His notable attacks or techniques is his quirk that's like passed down from his parents between hot and cold, and his giant ice wall attack, like the giant glacier he did with the on in the sports festival. That was pretty impressive. Now we are going into Gray Fullbuster from Fairy Tail. Gray is human, and he's 18. He has the standard powers, super strength, speed, durability, and he has his ice make magic. Allows the ice make magic allows him to create and control ice. He can freeze his enemies. He's also able to create several different objects out of ice. He has shown the ability to create shields, swords, battle axes, bows for long range combat, dummies of himself like clones, and like more. Okay. His weaknesses are really none because how Fairy Tail was set up. There's no really thing that can goes against directly for his magic. His destructive capability is C, like C, city level plus. Uh, he was shown to be able to like wipe out or have the potential to wipe out cities with like his top tier magic abilities. I'll go down the line when we go to his techniques and noble abilities. His range is like average human range, like punching and kicks, then several hundred meters with his ice magic because he can send out his attacks. His speed is massively hypersonic plus, just as fast as Natsu. Natsu is the main character, and Gray is his rival, cause fire and ice, and they have shown to be able to fight against each other at full power casually, going at full strength. So hypersonic plus. Hypersonic plus, by the way, is the speed for that is massively hypersonic plus anything that is Mach 1,000 to anything less that is less than Mach 8,810. So if you just want to know that. After this, I'll tell you the exact number for that for miles per hour. If you don't know the Mach limit. He has durability is city plus level, the same as his attack potency. Like most people, Like if you could dish it out, you should be able to take it. He's not a glass. He's not a glass cannon. His lifting strength is superhuman, so Olympic level of like capabilities. If you want to know what that is again, let me show it. Let me tell you. Superhuman level is. Let's see. Sorry, I'm a little preoccupied. Uh, Superhuman is anything above peak human that is for most part unknown. Peak human is like a grand piano. So anything above like grand piano is that's where he at. So Todoroki could possibly be stronger than him at lifting, like lifting strength, but we don't know because superhuman level is such a vague term for it. Then we have his striking strength, which is class PG or PJ. PJ means his wait, let me go to it again. Sorry, there's a lot of different stuff. PJ is petajoule class. Carry megatons of energy, city busting punches, or attacks by his magic. That's why he should be able to have. That's why his striking potential is PJ or petajoule because of his magic. His stamina is quite large. Like he's able to fight for a long time. He's able to fight with like getting countless energies by fighting countless enemies. He really doesn't have any equipment because he can make his equipment by his magic. He's a pretty intelligent fighter. He's usually calculating how to fight somebody during the time he fights. Alright, his notable attacks is Ice Mink. Alright, it's a form of alchemy magic that creates shapes and objects out of ice. In Gray's case, he used static ice magic, meaning he can shape his ice into weapons or attacks. Gray's incredibly skilled at this. Commend he's commended by the Magic Council for creating objects quickly and effortlessly during the battle. During the battle with Zero's demon, just a demon. Gray's skill in Ice Make is pretty skillful enough to completely freeze somebody that has water magic. And while she was boiling, like she was like making her body boil, and like making her body like turn to water, then be able to get to that boiling point. He was able to freeze somebody completely solid during that point. Right. Some of his notable skills. I'm probably not gonna go through all of them because there's a lot. Because Fairy Tail is a big series. He has freeze, his basic skill that allows him to freeze objects or anything water based. Then he has ice make lance. He has to create lance and shoot him at his enemies, impaling them. He has ice make shield, pretty self-explanatory. Then his hammer. Then his floor. He can make the floor freeze basically. Then he has bow. He has be able to shoot bows. Then he has arrows for that bow. Then he has super freeze arrows using ice make magic and the topping of wait, let me read this correctly. Ice make super freeze arrows using ice make geyser and standing on top of a resulting ice formation. Gray can rise up to a high point to shoot his arrows. After the shot, the speed of arrows increase with gravity, air pressure, and makes his okay. So basically, ice make super freeze arrow is basically he raises himself up in the air with the ice pillar, then uses his bow and his arrow and fires with the potential power of the gravity and like pressure of going down increases to get a more deadly effect. Then he has like a battle axe, sword from ice. Then his cold Excalibur is great sword, right? Then he has Icebringer, two curved swords from his hands. Geyser, a tower platform. He has cannon, prison. He has a forbidden spells that seals an enemy in a giant block of ice made of the caster's body. Basically, you really can't get out of this. If he uses this, it's pretty much GG for anybody. It's a draw because you can't break out of this with fire. and Gray kills himself using this. Then he has Rampart, Ice Mink Rampart. He creates a giant wall of ice that stops his opponents in their tracks, but uses up a lot of magic. He has Grappling Hook, self-explanatory. Scythe, Gunneer. It's a giant lance. Gunneer is a giant lance that basically traps your enemies when you get hit. Yeah, Scythe is okay. Then he has Ice Dummy, makes basically a Kage Bushin out of ice. Pretty self-explanatory. He has Stairs, Cocoon. He surrounds himself in cocoon and protects himself like kind of like Gara with his sand shield. That's pretty much what his basic techniques. No, it's pretty diverse because it's a battle shonen. Then we have the next form of his abilities, Ice Demon Slayer Magic, or Ice Devil Slayer Magic. It's basically a higher form of ice manipulation that he has. It got passed down from his dad, and this allows Gray to eat ice, not his own ice, but be able to eat ice to gain more magic. So basically, uh, yes, he's in the Arctic and he's running low on magic, or he's like wounded or tired. He can dig up some ice or some snow from the Arctic and eat it, and he will gain some of his magic and stamina and health back. The more he eats, the more powerful it gets. He can overeat to get more powerful, but they usually don't do that. His one of his techniques for his Devil Slayer magic, Ice Devil Slayer magic, is Ice Devil's Rage. He released a cold beam of energy, ice, and seamlessly snow from his mouth, directing it towards his target. The girth of the beam, like, is huge. Uh, we don't really know how powerful it is because in manga, the person that he fired it at kind of dodged it pretty easily. Then we have Ice Demon Sword, Long Sword. Basically, is a long sword from his palm that when he slashes his enemies, it can cut severely deep in them, probably cut through them completely. And when they use it, when he cuts, it creates ice there. It's not like basically like he cuts in a wall, and the wall will start freezing over. Then he has Ice Demon Bow. It's the same as his regular bow, but more powerful because it's made from his Ice Demon magic. It's a higher level. It's a higher tier of ice. Then he has Ice Demon Destructive Fist. He uses his ice magic to mold and shape ice from like into like on his hands. Then like into gauntlets. Then hits people with it, and is very powerful. All right. Now I run down the basic of both characters of Shouto and Gray and how their abilities would go. Um, I will say Gray wins this fight just because his versatility and his abilities and his ice demon magic allow him to eat ice. Now you would say Shoto or Todoroki would use his fire, and that he would like, oh, he's eating my ice. I'm gonna use fire, but you gotta understand that Gray grew up with Natsu. Natsu is the main character, and he's known to be a fire user. And Gray was able to basically from childhood, since he was like 6 years old, to fight Natsu while he was using fire magic. So you gotta understand that fire will be effective on some parts, but he's highly resistant to it because he's just fighting with like a person that can use fire magic freely. Um, the only thing that Todoroki can really do is probably his giant glacier spam, but that's gonna take a lot out of him. And then his fire, while we can see how powerful it is when he's fighting Deku, but it's not really gonna do much when a person like Gray is highly resistant to it. Then Gray can make like basically any type of weapon out of ice and hit him with it. I will state that they did say Todoroki is hypersonic, so at least Mach 5. He would be able to dodge some of Gray's attacks, but if Gray went serious, he would be able to cut Todoroki in half pretty easily with his ice magic. while Todoroki is resilient to the cold and heat, respectively, because of his quirk, but with Gray, like, just summons a long sword or a great sword or like a claymore of ice and like just like cuts him in half, he's really not. Really can't take that. I truly believe Gray will win this, but if you say Todoroki pulls this one out, please contact me in like my Google or just put it down in the comments. We'll have a conversation about this. It's pretty interesting. All right, bye.